All right, everybody, it's time for the End of Chaser Spirits and Beer Pairing Show. It is Wednesday, April the 16th, 2025. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Whisperer and Whiskey Whisperers. Two whisperers in one. There you go. How are you, sir?
How you doing? What's going on, man?
It's a Wednesday. It's a Wednesday. So.
I really do. I've been off today though, but I've been working so many hours lately that I've been enjoying the one day off in the middle of the week.
Gotcha. That's always a good thing. Yeah, I mean, I did that at one point in the past. Worked Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Had Sunday off and Wednesday off, so it's kind of cool. Broke it up a bit, and working Saturday, and what I was doing was always not easy per se, but a little bit easier because it was a Saturday, right? So and you still had Saturday night.
Johnny,
what's that?
Must have been sales.
Well, yeah, of course.
or retail management, because when I was retail management, it was Wednesday and Sunday I had it off. But
yeah. Well, I mean, I even if it go all the way back to my younger days when my father had his Thumann's cold cuts. I know you probably don't know Thumann's because I don't think they're in Missouri, but it's Boar's Head cold cuts.
Very familiar.
It's a major competitor of Boar's Head in most of the East and some of the West, but it kind of skips over the Midwest.
What was
Thumann's? THUMANN.
Oh, okay. No, I'm familiar with their product. Yeah. Their Turiger is well known.
Oh yeah. And then we had
depending on how you want to pronounce it, but yeah.
Exactly. But he had years ago, he had his routes on the road. And when I worked with him, we worked Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, just 4 days a week.
So you're probably familiar with Oosingers then, right?
Oh, yeah.
I used to deal with it when I was a deli manager. I love Oosingers products.
Oh, yeah. It's really good. A lot of good stuff. Especially old stuff is good. Old school stuff. Yeah, Henry Thumann actually worked for Boar's Head at one point way back in the day.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But in any event, all right. I'm thirsty. Are you thirsty?
Yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this. So today we came up with the idea to do classic cocktails altered. Classic cocktails altered. And what we mean by that is we're each going to make a classic cocktail. We're going to alter one of the ingredients, and see what we come up with. And there you go. So Tom's going to have at it first. What do you got going?
Well, so here's the thing. So typically I do test cocktails, but I didn't. Here's what I decided to do. And you know me, I'm not a friend of technology. I'm just not good at it. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me because I'm old. But anyway, here's what I did is rather than do a lot of test cocktails, I had a friend give me an AI app. So I gave the AI app my ideas for the cocktail and whittled it down to what I have now.
There you go. All right. Interesting.
I am doing it is not supposed to rain today, and it looks like it's going to start raining on me, so I'm going to be fucked in about half a second. Anyway, so I've got candied orange liquor from Tiakida Distilleries here in town.
Gotcha.
So I'll pour an ounce of that in my shaker.
What's your cocktail that you're adjusting?
Well, I'll tell you when I get to the end of it.
I got you. Okay, fair enough. Gotcha. Keep me in suspense, as they say.
Right. So, well, it's going to make sense once I get to the end. But so I've got Ardent Spirits Honey Barrel. So I've got a Honey Barrel bourbon at 114. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to put 2 ounces of the Honey Barrel in. So 1 ounce of the orange liqueur, 2 ounces of the Honey Barrel. And the bitters, well, this is where the bitters is going to change the game just a little bit, is I'm going to use 2 dashes of orange bitters. But to balance that sweetness, I'm going to use 2 drops of ginger bitters as well.
Orange and ginger bitters. There you go.
So what I got here, I'm going to call this particular cocktail Sweet Talk.
Sweet Talk.
So it is honey barrel bourbon. It is a candied orange liqueur. I'll pour it in my glass here.
Mhm.
And then, and I want to reinforce the fact that the final version is what was recommended by my AI app. I kept asking a different question. What if I did this or what if I did that? So I'm taking advice from basically Skynet at this point. Skynet is online. Anyways, I'm taking advice from Skynet because the robots are designing my cocktails now.
You know
Anyway,
what? I mean, the robots have so much history and experience behind them. So, I mean, you got to trust them.
so I'm going to add a little bit of candied ginger with the orange and cilantro. That's what I got.
Very nice. Very, very nice.
Yeah, was it not?
All right. I like it. So what is what is the cocktail then?
So I mean, you could say you could say I used either the Manhattan or an old fashioned as a template. What I took out was, if you're talking old fashioned, what I took out was the simple, and I just used the candied
Right.
orange liqueur as the sweetness. If you're saying I'm using the Manhattan as a template, then I took out the sweet vermouth and added
Yeah,
the
that
candy.
orange. Gotcha.
Other than that, this is what I have. I've got bourbon, I've got bitters, and I've got a sweetener. I've got those three things in here.
There you go. All right. Well, for the sake of this show, based on what my cocktail is, let's say you changed to Manhattan. It doesn't really matter. Who cares? But yeah. So what I did was I riffed on an old fashioned. Right, pour my ice in here. I riffed on an old fashioned, and I'm using. First of all, I'm going backwards. I'm doing the bitters first. I'm gonna use Angostura. Right, little aromatic Angostura bitters. So.
Just traditional bitters.
All right. About three or four shots of dashes of that. All right, and then I am using Short Path Distilling. I think I used this on a show a few shows ago, a couple shows ago. It's their triple sec. Short Path Distilling's up in Everett, Massachusetts. All right, right around the corner from Night Shift Brewing. Short Path Distilling make a lot of good spirits. They make a lot of good, really good gins and a lot of really good product. But we got their triple sec, and it's bourbon barrel aged.
Oh, really? Oh, I've never
Sec.
seen triple sec. That's nice.
We're gonna put an ounce of that in there. All right, 1 ounce, and then we're going to put 2 ounces of 1792 small batch bourbon.
Oh, 1792. There you go.
All right, I'm gonna put a couple ounces of that in there. There we go. And we're going to stir that up. Just a nice little stir. Give it a stir. And of course, my neighbor's German Shepherd's timing is impeccable. Gotta love him. Gotta love him. He's such a cute dog. He sounds menacing, but he's really not. He's just bored. And he comes outside and he barks at a leaf blowing, much less anyone else. So, but his timing is always perfect, usually for right around this time of day when we're starting a podcast. That's when he comes out and starts barking. So, all right, and there we are, right there. So what I got? So we got bitters, we got triple sec, that's bourbon barrel aged triple sec too, but and 1792 small batch bourbon. So what I did was riffed on an old fashioned, but I took out the simple and put in the triple sec. Now, funny story. There's a drink from the 50s. Got to go back to the 50s called a Talent Scout. All right. That's also a riff on an old fashioned, but they replaced the simple with Cointreau. All right.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what I almost did here.
And it's called a Talent Scout. So what I did was I replaced the Cointreau with triple sec, albeit bourbon barrel aged triple sec, but triple sec nonetheless. Same family as Cointreau, the citrusy, orangey liqueur, right? But
we got something very similar.
Very similar, right? But so what I do, since it's not quite, because the Talent Scout calls for the Cointreau, what what I'm calling this is a good old fashioned talent.
Good old fashioned talent. Okay.
Good old fashioned talent. There.
Uh, so, John, I'm going to have to jump off here for a second. I just checked the weather and it said it wasn't raining, but it is. So I'm going to jump off, move inside. Give me about 2 minutes to get hooked up again.
You do your stuff. I will vamp. Go for it. There you go. And there you have it. All right. While Tom retreats to his interior studio, if you will. I'm going to pour just a little bit, splash more bourbon in there. There you go. There we go. We're going to talk about this. Like I said, the Talent Scout is a cocktail from the 50s, early 50s, I believe. And it's Cointreau, bourbon, and aromatic bitters. So I call this a good old fashioned Talent Scout. Good old fashioned talent, no scout, just good old fashioned talent. And it's quite good. It's actually good. It's nice and citrusy, similar to an old fashioned without the sugar. So it's not quite as sweet. All right. It's probably closer to the feels, if you will, of a Manhattan. Too bad Tom isn't listening to this to discuss it with me. I'll bring it up again with him afterwards, but because you get that sweet vermouth in there. Sweet vermouth's even a little bit sweeter than this is, obviously, but it's pretty tasty. So excuse me while I take a sip. There's nobody else to fill the time while I sip, so I will do it. That's good. I like that. Came out nice. Came out very nice. What would have topped this off? What would have made this better? And next time I do it, I'll have to do it. Is either citrus bitters or orange bitters. I'll have to try that next time. I do like the aromatic bitters in there, but we'll have to do it that way. Anyway, there you have it. So I believe Tom should be close to getting back on now, but we'll see. We'll see. So this is funny. Quick story, funny story. So obviously anybody watching the show either also watches the Logroom Guys Craft Beer podcast that we do on Tuesday nights, or has heard us at least talk about it. Anyway, so Dave is not on the show with us tonight. He's also my co-host on the Logroom Guys podcast, Craft Beer podcast. He's on vacation. He's down in the great state of Texas. He is enjoying himself down in Austin right now, eating barbecue. Just sent us all pictures, and we're jealous. So in any event, that's why he's not on the show tonight. He was also not on the show last night. So for the first time in 225 Logroom Guys shows, I was interviewing one single guest alone. Right now, we've had a 2-person show before because Dave and I have done shows, just the two of us, if you will. We call them just the two of us shows. And that's how we started too, kind of a throwback to when we started the podcast. First 8 shows that we did were just the two of us. And then we started guests on show 9. But I digress, as Tom would say. Which we call it. So last night was the first night that I interviewed a guest just by myself. And it went fine. So this is the first time on this show that somebody is alone. I'm alone. I'm just talking to you. Now, Tom does his own show on Friday nights, on occasional Friday night. He's a little busy lately, but when he does it on Friday nights. And a lot of the time he's alone. Sometimes I'll jump on with him. Sometimes he'll have another guest. Sometimes Dave will jump on with him. Sometimes we both jump on with him. But in any event, he's probably alone more than he's with anybody else on his show. And I don't have a problem being alone and talking to you. But obviously, our podcasts are more conversational, and it's hard to have a conversation with yourself. So I just look at myself on the camera and pretend I'm talking to an actual somebody else and not myself, because that would be a little weird. So in any event, hoping Tom's coming back soon, because I don't want to not talk and not give you any air to listen to at some point. But I would like to. I'm going to take a really quick sip of this because it is pretty good. Hold on. Yeah, it is good. Ooh, yeah, that's really nice. I am going to put some. No, I think it's good. Anyway, I'll do it next time. We'll do it next time. Anyway, that being said, I think we've talked about this before. I'll bring it up now. So Tom's drink, he's calling it sweet something. I just lost it. Sweet. We'll get it when he comes back. Whatever name is, and I'm calling this a good old fashioned talent. We're doing a cocktail book. Odds are we're looking, towards the later part of the year next year, 2026. It'll be out, but who knows? We might do it earlier. So, but it'll all be here. And follow us here for anything going on with the Artisan Spirits Fest, which we were planning to do to kick off this year. The Craft Distilling Day, which is, I believe, May 22nd. I want to say, I believe. Don't hold me to that. I can pull up a calendar and tell you exactly. So let's do that. I believe I am correct, but we'll find out. It would be May 23rd. May 23rd is National Craft Distillers Day. So that would be the day we're doing it. I'm not so sure that I can do it, or we can do it. Dave and I can do it that day. So what we might do is maybe earlier in the week or the weeks leading up, we might go out and record content, and then we'll upload it that day, and you can actually check it out, and that'll kick it off that way. So one way or the other, we'll have content up on the Artisan Spirits Festival page, which we'll share on And the Chaser on that day to actually celebrate it, and then we'll get something going for the following year. So there you go, and we'll probably do a couple of live, quick reels from wherever we may be on that day as well. So we'll see. Anyway. Hope you all are good. Hope everything is fine. I'm going to just see if Tom has reached out to me to let me know what's going on. He has not. So let's hope he made it inside before he got deluged on, if you will. I hope he's not soaking wet and needing to towel off before he comes back on. Or maybe he spilt his drink and needs to make another. We'll find out. But I digress once again, waiting for Tom to come back and join me so we can open our beer and we can continue the show that we need to finish in the next 20 minutes. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, cheers to anybody that's listening. And hey, he's back. Look at that. All right. So we'll get him back on.
Well, I almost came in before we started. Then I checked.
There he is.
It wasn't going to rain, but then it started pouring on me. So nevertheless, I'm back. Did you miss me?
I missed you thoroughly. We all did. All of us. Everybody watching, myself and everybody.
Back and run over you again. Anyways, so how are you doing with your cocktail?
I'm doing really good. What beer are you pairing with that? So let's drink that.
So we talked about a couple of different things, and I decided to go with seasonal. So I've got a new seasonal from Banter Brewing. It is their Maibach. They call it My Debacle.
I like that.
So I thought with what I got going with the orange and everything else, that the Maibach would work with that. So what is your beer, John?
My beer. Let me finish pouring it here. Get it in the glass here, and let me take the obligatory photo, if you don't mind. Just for un momentito. There you go. All right. We got to go in there. And just for And the Chaser purposes, let's take a picture of the whole kit and caboodle and everything that we did.
So I don't know. I'm only seeing me. I'm not seeing you in my feed at the moment, so I'm not sure what that is.
That is strange. That's happened before. I got to be honest with you.
Oh, there we go. Now we're back.
Oh, you got it? All right. Actually, let me take a picture of this way too, because we're gonna we got to post some stuff up in for a little article, if you will. Hold on. I think that's good. All right. One way or the other, we got it done.
So are you done with your cocktail?
No, I'm still drinking. I didn't take too many sips while you were off, only because I didn't want to have dead air all that much.
So tell me more about your cocktail.
So I'll show you my beer first, and I'll tell you my cocktail. So for the beer, I had one left. Bought them last month, and it's still a perfect beer for it. It's a Maibach as well. It's Mardi Gras Bach from Abita.
Oh, nice. Oh, okay. I didn't see the
So,
brewer.
so we what should we call it? So we basically, you and I separately, without even talking about it, are drinking virtually the same thing. You know,
We're very similar.
very similar, very similar, very similar. So
How beer? How do we do that?
I don't know.
It's like
So
we have ESPN or something.
I think it's ESPN, exactly, 100%. So as far as cocktail goes, I was saying a little bit of this while you were moving inside. It's like I said, it's probably, feels wise, if you will, it's probably a little closer to a Manhattan only because there's no sugar in it, right? So it's not sweet like an old fashioned would be.
There's no
Um,
there's also no acidity like an old fashioned
right.
or
There's no,
Manhattan
I
rather.
mean, right. There's
Manhattan acidity from the yeah, it's kind of a cross. I wasn't sure, how it would play.
So I'm basically, in a nutshell, it's similar to, uh, it's probably closer to a Manhattan, but it's neither, right? It's maybe
Yeah.
slotting itself in between what an old fashioned stands for and what a Manhattan stands for. It's kind of in that gray area in between the two.
You don't have
Um,
the sugar cube or the sweetener, but you do have a very sweet liqueur in there.
right, but
That's the
but there are some. It is sweet, but there are some barrel notes to this particular triple sec because it was.
I'd love to try. I've never seen a barrel made triples like that. Is really interesting.
This triple sec's fantastic. You could actually drink this on the rocks. That's how good this triple sec is.
Yeah, I can believe that. I want to try that so bad. I wish somebody in my neck of the woods would do something like that. That was brilliant.
So what I was saying is that next time I want to try this with citrus bitters, and I was also just thinking. I didn't say this before. I was also just thinking. I might want to. I might even want to shake it, just to see what that brings out in it. Not stir it in the shaker, stir it in the glass, whatever. Just actually shake it, dilute it a little bit, and then see where it, see where that, change the mouthfeel of it, a little less velvety, a little more.
You want to use that in a component and say a margarita.
Could be. I'd like to change. I like to screw around with. I love this. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't want to improve on this.
Oh
I
no!
just want to see what else I can do with this.
What you're describing there, I'm thinking a reposado with the barrel aged.
That may work too. Yeah, maybe a reposado with the tequila, to triple sec rather,
Yeah,
and shake that. That's not a bad idea.
I think. Oh, but wow! That instead of using a Control or a Grand Marnier, use that barrel aged. Yeah, I like that.
Like that. So, all right, cool. Well, I'm gonna cheers. I'm gonna take a sip of the beer.
Set my cocktail down. I'll pick up my beer. So my beer is 7.3%. It's a very traditional My Box style from Banter called My Debacle.
I love that. Yeah, this is a 6.5% Bach.
So we're in the same neck of the woods with both beer and cocktail.
Yeah. Yes, we are.
See, that's what happens with that third guy interrupting our mojo.
Exactly. Dave would have come in. He would have done something with Aquafeet, and he would have put dry vermouth in there, and then he would have been a whole thing. And no, I'm kidding. Actually, he probably would have did something very similar to us as well. So
we give Dave a time mostly because he's not here to defend himself. But
that's exactly why we can have this banter, if you will, no pun intended.
There you go.
So he just sent me a picture. He's at Austin Beer Works right now.
Oh, nice.
And he sent me a picture of their sticker, part of their sticker wall. And right there, he's got the Beer Samurai and the Coastal Brew Works sticker too, right there.
Nice. So you guys need to send me those two so I can put it up on my banter wall.
I'll send you a stack, and he can send you. We'll send you a stack of each. How's that? I actually got a box of. I won't say what I have a box of going for you too. That I got to get to you. I won't say what's going to be in it, but stickers. There'll be stickers in it. That's
okay.
Yeah.
There's it illegal.
Totally.
When I'm always asked what I'm sending, I always say glassware or barware.
Right. Yeah. Or craft soda.
I said beer glasses. It's beer because technically I'm not wrong. Our beer.
That's true. This is very true.
That's Boris Barware.
So so yeah, so at at 7:30 or so, there's the German Shepherd again. German Shepherd's name is Lucky, by the way.
Like clockwork.
Like clockwork. Yeah, we're having our big NFL draft show tonight.
Oh, okay. That's tonight?
Well, the draft is next Thursday, but our draft show is tonight. So we do our picks, we do our mock drafts, and we only do the top 10 though. We don't do the whole we don't do the whole lot. Like we don't do the whole 7 rounds or even the whole first round. We just do the top 10 picks.
So I know where you're located, but as far as colleges go, who are you? I mean, what are the colleges you're pulling for? What are you rooting for? What do you want to see tonight? I guess
myself, it doesn't. I mean, we look. I personally don't. I lean. Years ago, I almost went to Syracuse, and I wound up staying home local. I almost went to Syracuse University. So they've always been the team that I followed for the most part. But I find myself over the years, watching Wisconsin. I find myself watching. Oddly enough, I find myself watching Iowa State, and I find myself watching Texas, and Ole Miss. Ole Miss, I probably watch because of Eli, because I was watching Eli in Ole Miss before he got drafted.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. All right.
So but basically, you can't even say that I have a favorite college team by any means. I like college football, so I'll watch college football in the fall. Just put on any game. I want to watch it because I love the actual, the enjoyment of them playing the game. Right? It's reaching some. It's beginning to stretch towards NFL caliber talent, but yet the altruistic playing of a high school team. Combining the two, and that's what I get out of it.
But here's the thing: is it still that? Because they're now making money.
Yeah, the NIL is definitely putting a monkey wrench in those works. That's for sure.
In my neck of the woods.
Yeah, it's definitely different than it was, but it's still better. I don't want to say better. I'm a huge football fan. I'm a huge NFL fan. I'm not going to say college football is better. It's just fun to watch. That's all.
But are you in any difference since those changes have been made?
Oh, definitely. I mean, teams, the schedules are, things are definitely geared towards, how they want. What the hell's this? Hold on a second here. Schedules are definitely geared towards money, right? Okay, which teams are going to play which teams to bring in the most bucks for commercials on TV, for viewership, for people in the stands, for what have you, and any of that. And it didn't used to be that way. Now that there's that much big money involved, that it's different there. But I try not to think about that, because I think about that way too much with the NFL. I think about that way too much with the NFL, and I don't want to just have to now think about that with everything, and just get me more pissed off as a fan. Just I want to just sit back and watch a good college game. That's all. But I do. But to your point though, I watch Syracuse, I watch Wisconsin, Texas, Iowa State, and Ole Miss. But I'll watch, like I said, I'll watch anything. Even I watch Penn State a little bit too. That harkens back to Eli, and who I hope the Giants are actually going to wind up taking next Thursday night, and with their 3rd overall pick.
Good luck to you.
And that would be Mr. Abdul Carter from Penn State. But we'll see what happens with that. I know a lot of people. It's polarizing, right? There's a lot of people that want the Giants to take their quarterback, but I don't know that they're actually completely sold on Shedeur Sanders, or that he's even going to be available. Cam Wharton, Shedeur Sanders maybe going 1-2. So the Giants are left with a couple of really good choices. The Heisman Trophy winner at that point, and probably the best player talent-wise in the draft, which is Abdul Carter.
A Heisman Trophy bus, right?
What's that?
There's been a lot of Heisman Trophy busts over the years.
Yeah, there have been. Right now, the Giants have a Heisman Trophy winner on their staff. They didn't draft him; they just picked him up in free agency. Jameis Winston is a Giant now.
But again, it goes to my point: how many Heisman Trophy winners have been busts?
This is true. Probably more than not, and I wouldn't say busts. If you want to say average to bust, there's been more, because I mean, certainly there were great Heisman Trophy winners.
Let's just say haven't lived up to the hype.
Right, exactly. They may be good, but they're not as good as they had thought to have been.
So you know where I'm from.
Of course.
So my Heisman Trophy bust is John Cappelletti.
Mm-hmm.
A guy you thought was going to be great, but he never quite got there.
No, a lot of them didn't. Yeah, I mean, one whatchamacallit, who was I can't think of the damn Heisman Trophy winner that I was thinking about. You said that, and I was thinking about somebody, and I just can't figure out who it was. It'll come to me, but
when they first got Cappelletti, thinking, okay, this guy's going to be huge. We're all watching the TV, going, "What the fuck happened?"
Exactly. I'm going to actually pull it up right now.
He was a terrible player, but he never got to that, that legend status.
Exactly. I'm going to go back and look here. Okay, so I'm going to go back to. We're going to go back to. Let's go back to 1974.
Oh yeah, okay.
Archie Griffin won the Heisman Trophy in the 74 and 75.
Mm-hmm.
Dorsett won it in 76. Earl Campbell won it in 77. Billy Sims won it in 78. So that was 3 pretty good Heisman Trophy winners in a row.
Very well.
All
and
right.
Then
you got Charlie White in 79. George Rogers in 80. All right. Now, then we go to Marcus Allen in 81.
Oh, yeah. He definitely lived up to the hype.
He lived up to the hype. Herschel Walker in 82. And he didn't even go to the NFL. He went to the New Jersey Generals of the USFL as the Heisman Trophy winner.
He never quite lived up to the hype either, did he?
He played decently. He didn't live up to that. He lived up to the hype with the Generals. But when he got to the NFL, he played for the Giants. He played for the
right.
He played for the Giants, the Cowboys, the Vikings. He didn't. He was good, but not where he should have been.
That's why he became a Republican.
Right. Mike Rozier in 83. Flutie in 84.
Flutie, oh god. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So at one point, the New Jersey Generals had 2 Heisman Trophy winners on their team. Doug Flutie and Herschel Walker.
Wow, that's crazy.
And you got Bo Jackson in 85. Vinny Testaverde in 86.
Oh, I like Testaverde, but he never quite lived up to the hype either. He's a good player, though.
Good player. Tim Brown in 87.
He had heart. Maybe he didn't have the talent, but he had heart.
He definitely had heart, yeah. Tim Brown in 87.
Yeah.
Barry Sanders in 88. I think we can say that he lived up to the hype. What do you think?
We can, yeah.
Andre Ware in 89. And Ty Detmer in 90. Not so much there. Desmond Howard in 91. He was all right. Charlie Ward in 92. And Charlie Ward at one point was the best quarterback in New York.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Unfortunately, he wasn't playing for an NFL team. He was on the Knicks playing basketball.
That's funny.
Gino Torretta in 92. Rashaan Salam in 94. Eddie George in 95. Danny Werfel in 96. Charles Woodson 97. Ricky Williams 98. And that brings me to what I think was definitely the Giants' biggest draft bust. And certainly, as far as I'm concerned, one of the worst Heisman Trophy winners ever, and that would be Mr. Ron Dayne.
I'm not familiar with that name at all, actually.
He was Heisman Trophy winner in 99, and he was on the Giants, and it did not, no. So, but I won't keep going with every name, but just some highlights. You had Carson Palmer in 02.
So was a winner in 73.
Yeah, 73. That's why I said this list only goes back to 74, and it was right after your guy.
Because I was starting out myself, so I had to look it up.
Reggie Bush in 05. Tim Tebow in 07.
Oh god, there's a bust.
Sam Bradford in 08.
Oh, another bust.
Cam Newton in 2010.
Man, and that dude could not get him there.
Here you go. Robert Griffin III in 11.
Oh, that might be the biggest bust of all time.
Except for the year after him, Johnny Manziel in 2012.
No, see, I've been proven wrong, just like that.
And then Jameis Winston, who's now a Giant in 2013.
Boy, they put all their hopes in Manziel, didn't they? Johnny Football.
Johnny Football.
Name Skip, whatever.
Skip Bayless.
Skippy, that sports genius that he is. He said he was going to be the best of all time.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
That dude is fucking stupid. Do you listen to that guy?
I try not to.
How does this guy get a sports show? I mean, he gets everything wrong.
I don't know. I seriously think that any of us, me, Pat, Pete, on the Get On With It show, even yourself and Dave could do a better show than a lot of those guys on ESPN. Marcus Mariota in 2014.
I remember him. Yeah,
he's a bit of a bust. He's actually backing up. He's backing up. What's his face in Washington now? But then you got a couple that have been proven to be pretty good. Derrick Henry in 2015. Lamar Jackson in 2016. Baker Mayfield in 2017.
So let me ask you a different question, Johnny. Do you think, because I'm a baseball guy, so I'm looking at baseball. Mm-hmm. So are you thinking maybe it's the hype, or are you thinking that the league is just that much different? Being a pro is different than being a college player.
Here's what I think. I'm going to tell you what it is too, right? When you're a college player, there's a lot of variables. All right. There's a lot of teams that you're going to play. You're not playing everybody. You're not, and if you're in a conference that doesn't have a ton of talent, you're going to stand out more than the others. And if you have a few good games against the ones that do show talent, then you're going to shine above that, right? But when you make it to the NFL, if you haven't experienced that talent level playing against you, it's completely different. You know, that's why some of these guys can definitely, shine in the NFL, and some of them have a little bit harder of a time. It's also a product of environment too, and it's it's sad to a point that for the most part, and it isn't always the case, but for the most part, the Heisman Trophy winner goes to a team that's lower on the ladder of talent because they're not as good as anybody else. So they pick higher up in the draft, right?
That makes sense. That makes sense.
They don't have a supporting cast around them, and their ownership and management isn't up to snuff where they can actually build a team around that pick or use that pick to be building the team around somebody else or whatever, and working it, making it better. You got to look at that. It's the product of environment too, because look, I don't have to tell you, as well as I do, there have been players out there in the NFL that, given the right circumstances, they would have shined more and had better careers than they did because of the team they landed on at the first place, right?
But my question to you is, do you think sometimes it's ego, right? Sometimes these guys.
Oh, hell yeah. No, yeah, there's definitely ego involved. Sure, absolutely.
Can't believe they're in the situation they're in, so they don't have the ability to change and get better.
Well, here, you talk about ego. 2010's Heisman Trophy winner, Mr. Cam Newton. You're going to tell me Cam Newton doesn't have any ego? That
was the thing. In all honesty, I thought that dude might be the best of all time when he was first drafted. It all happened.
Yeah, exactly. And
then RG3 was another one of those. Yeah. But again, I'm going to go back to being a baseball guy. You had guys like Bobby Valentine. Most number one baseball drafts never. I mean, they don't materialize. So does number one really mean anything? I guess is my question.
Yeah. I don't think it does, and that's why you have seen this trend of. I mean, years ago, your Heisman Trophy winner got picked first overall, right? Because they won the Heisman Trophy, they're going first. Now that doesn't happen much anymore.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter won the Heisman Trophy this year or last year with it this season, this most recent Heisman Trophy. He's not going to go first. He's not going to go first. Cam Ward's going to go first to Tennessee. They're not going to. Tennessee's not going to take Travis Hunter. The Giants might take Travis Hunter, depending on where they are. So we'll see. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. But it's going to be an interesting draft. That's all I know. So, just finishing your cocktail. I'm just about done with mine as well.
So, anyways,
Anyway,
talking sports for most of this show, but that's okay.
we did a little sports interlude there. No big deal. No big deal. We've done it before. We'll do it again. There you go.
All about the beer and the whatever, but we'll talk about anything that comes up.
Exactly. I think we said the next show we're doing martinis.
Are we okay? I'm all in.
I think that's what we said. We're doing martinis with a twist, if you will. No pun intended. Pun intended.
So, but the alcohol can be anything, right? It just has to be served like a martini.
Just have to be served like a martini. That's it.
I'm in.
Mm-hmm. So
how does a traveler do it?
Exactly. There you go. That's interesting. You gotta. I'm interested. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send you a couple of ideas and have you put them in that AI program and see what they spit out.
No, it was interesting because typically I do test batches. I'm not going to do that. I just sent in ideas and I said, okay, this is good, but what if you do this? I said, okay, that's interesting. So I was asking a very specific questions like, what if I added this bitter and that bitter? And they said, well, with this particular profile, this will do this and this will do this. And then I asked it about the whiskey I was using, and it was said, well. So I said I changed the whiskey from a cask to 100 or to a bonded high rye. And said, okay, that's going to change it altogether. Okay, all right. What do you got for me?
That's pretty funny. I love it.
Like I was talking to a person.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, Skynet is online, and we're all going to be, we're all going to be, the Terminators are going to take us out in a few years, and I think there's a John Connor out there somewhere, but quite frankly, I really don't care all that.
Well, you know what? That's a question. Is it the Terminators are going to take us out, or is it more? Are we looking more of that Will Smith movie, I, Robot, and that they're going to take us out?
Could be an iRobot thing. In all honesty, I think it's going to be more of an ignorance thing. I think most of us are just going to wipe ourselves out because we're just stupid. And then the robots are going to just come and clean up what's left.
Like they don't even have to do any work. We'll take care of ourselves. They could just take over.
Right. We're gonna knock ourselves out. I figure the second I know the world is coming to an end, I'm gonna open my best whiskey and say fuck it. I'm not gonna try to live through an apocalypse. I'm not hiding cans and water in the basement. I don't want to live through that shit. If I can't live good, I ain't living at all.
There you go. I hear what you're saying. So you think there's a meeting that they have on a regular basis with robots and AI and everything else, and they get together and they've been planning the takeover for years, right? And then all of a sudden they see what's going on and they finally get back together and they go, you know what? We don't have to do shit. Let's just let them take care of themselves. We'll just sit back and let it all happen, and then we'll just take over. There you go, done.
I think that's where we're at. I think these people just elected the most stupid motherfucker on the planet. We're just going to let them wipe themselves out.
Well, as we said, we danced around it for a couple of minutes here, but we try to avoid politics and religion on the show.
Oh, my apologies.
And by saying everybody's dumb and take us all out, I'm just being self-deprecating and saying we're all dumb. Fuck it. The views expressed on this show do not necessarily expect it.
Slightly. I made a comment in a different group about nobody does sarcasm and self-deprecating humor better than Gen X, because nobody can make fun of us better than we can.
100%. 100%.
Boomers get mad. They get angry. Millennials get offended, but we will take it.
We'll take it.
You think you're making fun of me? No, nobody makes fun of me better than I can.
Nobody can make fun of me better than I can make fun of myself.
So I'm going to do 5 minutes on it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Sit back and relax. Let me tell you how much I suck.
Oh, hell, I got more. I know what an idiot I am. I'm going to tell you about it.
Exactly. I had this story, and this is part and parcel for that, right? But I have been a volunteer firefighter since I was a teenager.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
And anytime I talk to younger guys when they get on the department, I'll have a conversation with them. And as you would imagine, there's a lot of ball busting. There's hazing. It's not bad hazing. It's not like it's not like dancing on the edge of being criminal hazing. It's not that. It's all good-hearted, right? Yeah, it's all ball busting and so forth and so on. Initiation type. He's got to pay his dues, but literally good-hearted stuff that you're going to laugh about. That's really all it is, right? But the bottom line is, there's a lot of ball busting, and there is, but the ball busting is not malicious, not at all. There's no malice in it. All right, so I'll talk to them and I'll say, look, don't get upset if somebody's busting your balls, because you want somebody to bust your balls. If it gets to the point where there's nobody busting your balls or talking to you, that's when you have a problem, because nobody wants to. If people are talking to you all the time and they're busting your balls, you're part of it.
Thank you.
You're in. That's
right. The more we fuck with you, the more we like you.
Exactly. 100%.
Truth, yeah. So I've had this conversation with other folks. There's a difference between you motherfucker and you motherfucker.
Yeah.
You're a son of a bitch and you son of a bitch.
Exactly.
There's a difference.
100% difference. Absolutely. You gotta love it. So
somebody you hate, you make fun of somebody you like.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Because you're not gonna waste the energy to make fun of somebody you hate.
You're gonna ignore them. We don't care about you anymore. You're done.
Exactly. So
right.
That's what it is. Right. So how's your beer going?
So far, so good. So, in all honesty, to give you more specific notes, so it is a very classic Maibach, right? Malty up front, herbal in the finish, a lot of noble hops. It does what it does.
Right. Nice. Very nice. I do like that. This is it's a good pairing too. I do like this. This came out nice. I'm glad we did this. I'm glad we had this experiment, if you will, today. And I'm happy to I guess it's the 30th. Yeah, it's the day before. The day before May is the next time we do this show. Last day in April. And
for that show.
What's that?
Well, what are we doing for that show?
The martinis that we were just talking about.
You know, martinis.
Yeah. So I'm glad to be doing something like that. Not that, I love my bourbon, and I'll keep drinking my bourbon.
Sir, I'm struggling with that though.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe I don't know. That's a good question. Well, it depends on the martini you make, though, right?
Yeah, but we don't want a whole beer. But what do we say, martini in a sidecar?
It's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. We could do that.
To a short beer, just a sidecar, like a Bloody Mary in a sidecar.
Right. Yeah.
In a sidecar.
Just a little chaser on a little chaser.
Something that makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly. Not a bad idea. We could work on that. We'll get Dave's input on that one. How's that?
Yeah, fuck him.
All right, that's gotta love it.
My bad. I'm sorry, Dave. I didn't mean that.
Yes, we did. No, we didn't. Yes, we did. No, we didn't. What do you think we did?
I love you, Dave. Anyways, hey, thanks, Johnny.
All right. I was gonna put that time in there.
Sports show. Now that we've talked about sports for 45 minutes.
Well, anybody that is listening to this, actually, we do have a few people that are watching this live and have been watching this live. I think somebody else just jumped on too. But if anybody does want to watch the sports show tonight, that'll be on the Get On With It Sports Podcast Facebook page, as well as the Log Room guys. Not the Log Room guys, but the Log Room podcast channel on YouTube. All of these shows are on that channel as well. We'll be going live in probably about 20 minutes ish, right around 20 minutes. It's our big draft show tonight, so that'll be good. And I'm just putting in the opening here. There we go. Just gotta make a note of it. That's all. And then 2 weeks from tonight, we're doing our martini show. Dave will be back from his trip. I'm sure we'll hear all about his exploits and his
It's smart.
going on. He's always going to a couple distilleries too, so I want to hear about that. And if you notice, I've worn this a couple times on the show so far. Wiggle whiskey. They're in Pittsburgh. Fantastic spirits, fantastic cocktails, fantastic smash burgers too. By the way, at this distillery. Would like to get them on the show as a guest, and there's a few other distilleries that we've been talking to get some people on the show to have some cocktails with them, talk about them, hear what they have to say, kind of like we do on the Lager Room guys with the breweries. We'll do on the show with those guys as well. So that look for that coming up in the near future, not the next show or two, but soon. We'll start that, and we'll go from there. I'm excited about it, and I'm really excited to get our cocktail book going too. So we'll have to look towards that in the near future as well. Anything coming up this week for you, Tom?
No, actually, I'm off this weekend. It's the first one I've had off in 3 weeks, so I'm hoping to do a whole lot of nothing, man.
That's always a good thing. Always good.
Well, it's hard to shake off stuff as you get older,
100%. That's for sure. But yeah, it's you know what? Should be a somewhat relaxing weekend this weekend. I might be going live with Dave at around 6:30 Eastern time, 5:30 Central, from Live Oak. He'll be at Live Oak Brewing. It's their anniversary party. And they do a lot of smoked beers. So I do have a Live Oak beer.
Nice. Very nice.
So if we do that, it's only going to be like a 10, 15-minute thing. It's not going to be a long thing, but I'll have one beer with him. And then our show next week, the Lager Room Guys show next week, Dave will be live from St. Elmo Brewing in Austin with the owner. He'll have the owner on the show with him. And obviously I'll be sitting right here while he's in Texas doing the show. So that'll be fun as well. So a lot of good stuff coming up. We got a brewery the following week, the 29th. We have Long Live Beer Works from Providence, Rhode Island, and they also have a location in Boston as well now. They'll be on the show that week, so that's gonna be fun. And then of course our martini shows the day after that. So we got a lot of good stuff looking forward to. A lot of good beer, a lot of good cocktails, and I'm gonna enjoy it, and I know you are too. And when I say you, I mean Tom. I mean Tom. I mean the Beer Whisperer. I mean the Whiskey Whisperer, and everybody, all of you out there watching and listening to this, you're going to enjoy it as well. So, all right. Well, I think this was a successful show. What are your feelings about it?
Off the air?
No, we're not off the air yet. I'm asking you on the air what your feelings of the show are.
Good. So far, so good. We talked about things that need to be talked about, and we did kind of do what we do. We drifted off into some sports, and it doesn't.
I think one of the best at the pubs we ever did was when we drifted off for about an hour and a half into music. We talked about music for a bit.
That's the great thing is it doesn't have to be about one thing. We just have a conversation.
Exactly, 100%. Have that conversation. It's entertaining. It's informative. It's fun. We have a good time, and we're all good.
There it is.
All right. Well, we will let you go at this point for that and get ready for the sports show. And Tom and I will talk for a moment before I do that, and we'll go from there. I think I froze. Did I freeze? No, I didn't. I'm good. I'm good. But I digress. Where is my outro? It's not popping. There it is. On that note, we will wrap up the show for today. For those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website. All of the And the Chaser info will be located you'll find it on the Lager Room Guys website. That's www.lagerom.com. That's lagerom.com. Please remember, like us and follow us on Facebook at And the Chaser. And of course, all the shows are available on YouTube as well on the Lager Room channel. Remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook and YouTube every other Wednesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio host, Spreaker, as well as iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, Audible, Google Podcasts, YouTube Music, Pandora, where am I? Amazon Music, TuneIn, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Deezer, Podchaser, Listen Notes. Pretty much anywhere you can find an audio podcast, you'll find the End of Chaser podcast. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer and cocktails, but drink responsibly. And we will talk to you in a couple weeks, folks. Take care. Cheers.